Hey guys, my name is Christina. I love to travel and I also teach online on a platform called VIP Kid. And today I want to jump right into the VIP Kid application process. I know it can be overwhelming, so I just wanted to hold your hand through the process, explain it to you, and I want to help you kind of get in the right mindset so that you can take action now and start as soon as possible. So let's jump right in. Okay, so the first step in the VIP Kid application process is filling out the application. So you want to make sure that you are thorough and that you don't leave anything blank. When you're filling out the application, it's important to keep in mind three things. There are three things that VIP Kid is looking for specifically. The first thing is they want to make sure that you have a bachelor's degree. The second qualification that they're looking for is they want to make sure that you are legally eligible to work in the United States and in Canada. So as long as you have that, then you're all set. And the third thing they're looking for is they want to make sure that you have at least 2 years of teaching experience. Now, teaching experience doesn't mean that you have to have, taught in a classroom before. So babysitting or tutoring in the past will also work. So one thing real quick that I wanted to just emphasize about the application process is that once you actually submit it, you can't go back and make any changes. So it's really, really important that while you're filling out the application, that you make sure to include any informal teaching experience that you've had. Why? Because when VIP Kid is taking a look at your application, that's how they determine your pay base rate. So it's really important to understand that when they say teaching experience, they mean informal experience as well. So I just wanted to make sure to emphasize that so that nobody forgets to do that before they hit submit on their application. The second thing also to note is that when you're filling out your application, that's also when you want to include the referral link for any teachers that are mentoring you throughout the process. And of course, you can only actually choose one teacher to mentor you through the process, but you want to include it in that stage because you're not going to be able to go back and include it afterwards. So just wanted to make sure to mention that. Okay, so once you fill out the application, you'll get notified to start the demo process. Okay, so for the demo, one thing I just wanted to clarify is that the demo and the interview are the same thing. So just to clarify, because it gets a little confusing with the wording that they use, after the application, the demo is the next step, but the demo and the interview are the same exact thing. Now there are a couple options for the demo, but I want to help fast track you. I want you guys to take action and I want you guys to be teachers as soon as possible, and I don't want you to feel overwhelmed throughout the process. So to be honest, the best option, having gone through it myself, is a SMART demo. So the SMART demo is super easy, guys. I don't want you to feel scared or nervous. I know I felt overwhelmed throughout the process, so I want to help you guys push forward. Something that I regret is honestly putting off the SMART demo for a little bit too long. I feel like it took me a week or so to do it, but honestly, that is not necessary. So one thing to keep in mind when you're doing the SMART demo is it's a good idea to actually set up your background. So of course, you're gonna wanna get some headphones. You're gonna wanna have a really nice classroom background. I know I used a map, and you'll wanna put your name up there. My name is Teacher Tina, so that's what I put up there. And then you're gonna also wanna have some props. So the props are gonna help you, especially during the mock class phase of the application process, because I know that you actually get points for using at least 2 props. So something to keep in mind. I actually got a whiteboard and I got a puppet. Very, very minimal investment, guys. Didn't spend too much money on it. And the whiteboard actually really, really helped me out because it's very versatile. You can kind of use it for rewards. You can draw letters and use it for phonics. So very, very helpful. Okay, so for the SMART demo, this is what you need to know. You're gonna take the SMART demo on your smartphone. So it's super convenient. For those of you who are not that tech savvy, don't worry, don't get overwhelmed. It's very, very straightforward. So you go onto your smartphone, and so essentially they're gonna give you some material that you have to read through, and then after you read through that material, they're gonna ask you 5 questions. So it's a 5-question quiz, and guys, I have to be honest, there are no surprises. It's pretty straightforward. So as long as you read through the material, you should be absolutely fine. So after the 5-question quiz, they're gonna ask that you teach 1 slide. Now, if this makes you nervous, don't worry. Before you teach the slide, they provide a slide showing you what they're expecting of you, and they actually provide a demo, it's a video. So you know exactly what's expected of you, and then when it's your turn to record the slide for the demo, you have the option to continue recording as much as you want to before you actually hit submit. And it's just a 2.5-minute recording. So when you're doing the SMART demo, one of the things they really want to see from you is they want to just make sure that, for example, you are using TPR and you are speaking very slowly and clearly for the students to understand you, and that you're using the right commands to kind of prompt them throughout, to repeat something, or where you're actually asking for feedback from them. So nothing to be scared about, guys. That should clear up the process. So after you pass the demo, you're gonna be invited to do your mock class. So hopefully you'll only have one mock class to go through, but a lot of people go through 2 mock classes. During the mock class, it's gonna be exactly what it sounds like. It's a mock class. So there's gonna be an interviewer on the other side, basically pretending to be one of the VIP Kids students that you're gonna be teaching in the future. And they're gonna give you feedback at the end of, that interview demo, at the end of that lesson. Okay, another thing to note about the mock class phase is that the mock class phase is the same phase as the certification phase. So when you're doing the mock class, you're gonna get certified in either level 2 and 3, or you're gonna get certified in level 4 or 5 by doing 1 mock class interview. So I just wanted to clarify that. So one thing I want to say about this stage in the process, because I know it could be a little nerve-wracking for some, is to think of it like training. So essentially, VIP Kid wants to make sure that every teacher that comes through feels prepared to actually teach in the classroom. And so this is an opportunity for training for you, to get feedback, from a veteran teacher who's been teaching for some time and knows exactly what they're doing, and just to kind of give you tips and pointers. So of course, you do want to make sure that you practice with pacing. You want to make sure that you are using TPR and that sort of thing. But again, don't get too overly nervous. VIP Kid really just wants to ensure that you know what you're doing and that you're prepared. If you don't pass the first time, don't worry. You're gonna have another opportunity to do another mock class and try a second time. Now for your mock class, you do wanna make sure that you have your background set up, and you wanna make sure that you have props ready. Okay, so the next step in the process, once you pass the mock class, it all depends whether you actually start off with a TEFL certification. So I know that I started off with a TEFL certification, and according to the Chinese Ministry of Education, they want you to have some sort of TEFL or TESOL certification. So if you don't start off with one of those certifications, then VIP Kid basically allows you to get that through the application process. So essentially, this is a TESOL VIP Kid certification. So according to VIP Kid, they say it takes about 10 hours, but in my experience, it takes much less. So don't worry, don't get super overwhelmed. Okay, so once you have your TESOL certification, or if you already have your TEFL certification when you're applying through this process, then you would jump to the next phase, which is your documents. So VIP Kid is going to want you to submit a couple of different documents. Of course, they want to see, your TEFL certification if you already have that. They will want you to add a picture. They'll want you to add an introductory video and just explain a little bit more about your experience. So then once you provide this information, VIP Kid is going to run a very quick background check on you, just to make sure that all the info that you provided is accurate. So overall, the process should take about 1 to 2 weeks, and a lot of that is dependent on you and how quick you are to respond and how quick you kind of move on to the next stage. So I definitely recommend that you start off with an existing VIP Kid teacher to kind of mentor you and walk you through the process. It just makes the process so much easier and so less overwhelming, because it does at first feel like there are a lot of steps. And the VIP Kid teachers who went through it know exactly what to expect, and it can help you just move along faster. So again, I'll leave my information below. One other thing to note too is just that the referral process has changed. So in the past, you were able to add a referring teacher a lot later in the application process, and now basically it's best to add that referral link right when you're filling out that application before the demo lesson. So again, I'm happy to help you through the process. I know exactly what it feels like. I know it can be overwhelming, and I was just in your shoes not too long ago. So I'm definitely happy to help. I think that's something I can offer is really just a personalized approach. I will hold your hand. I will respond within 24 hours to your email, as long as you kind of put that you're interested in VIP Kids, so I know that that's exactly why you're emailing me. I'm really excited to hear from new teachers, so please reach out. Okay guys, I want to keep this video short. I don't want to ramble on for too long. I hope that I provided a lot of really helpful tips and tricks and just information about the application process, and feel free to reach out. Bye guys.